Good evening, everybody. Why I'm starting a cast at 4 a.m. is a question I'm asking of myself at this point. But given the fact that I'm not asleep right now, and I don't know, the fact that I like this game, I thought, why the devil not? I'll do a little bit more of this wonderful game. So I have no idea how many people are going to be here to watch it, but I'm going to do my best to put on a good time. It will definitely be a very short cast tonight because I do want to at least pretend to get myself back on track so far as sleeping is concerned. But let's have a little bit of fun with this game anyway. So we started at finished at 9:34 last morning. Let's do that. This is actually something that might be an interesting thing for me to try in the future, would be to cast in the morning and then get on with my day. But we'll see what happens. So when we finished last night, the first thing that we did was set up all of the relay beacons. Now, the thing that's really great about this in the game is that it sort of seems like a little bit of tedious work, but it's actually really good for sort of setting up your economy and getting to know the layout. So as you go through each of these beacons, it's a nice little job to just sort of see your main features, sort of see landmarks and get your bearings. And then as you do that, you start going by these things like data terminals and ATMs and all of that. And you basically, to me, it's a good little, it's a built-in way of sort of getting on top of these things. So what we're going to do, we'll get at least one mission done, and the industrial district starts. Jessie Quill, you lovely, lovely woman. Thank you so much for the host. I know you need to get some sleep, so I hope I don't keep you too long. But for those of you who are watching, this lovely woman, always, hey, Leah too, another wonderful caster. I didn't think I was going to have anybody in tonight. Not going to be streaming for too long on this. But for those of you who know, Jessie Quill is the heart to my head. She is a caster who's able to talk about real life issues in a way that I kind of wish I could about maybe some of my, my more academic interests. She's able to kind of keep the gameplay front and center, where sometimes I need to sort of break off for a little bit. She's a really lovely, lovely caster, a very good friend of mine, and somebody who, has been with me through thick and thin, I have to say now. So she's really somebody special, and I really think you guys would do well to follow her if you haven't already. And then of course we've got Leah too, my variety caster of variety casters. He is, first of all, gave us Deadbolt yesterday, which was a ton of fun to play. It was a really great way to end the cast. And has also given us so many other games for the cast. I have to feel bad almost at this point. But I first got to know him playing Crusader Kings 2, which is of course a game that I've got a bit of a reputation for. I think we're just going to start walking towards the objective, and then we can talk about the approach that we'll take. But again, he actually, one of the things that I maybe don't quite give him enough credit for is he's actually somebody who I kind of thought I liked the adventure genre, but I didn't really realize how much of a poser I am compared to Leah 2. Like, he really, really likes the adventure genre, and like it shows both in his casting ability, but also the games that he plays, the things that he recommends, the things that he gifts. Like, he's somebody who knows that very special, very unique time in gaming history. And again, I mean, he does lots of other things too. He's really liked Pillars of Eternity. So if you like the Baldur's Gate style sort of game, he's good with those. And then of course does programming and haircutting streams. So speaking of which, Jess, this is the big shame. We should have had a haircutting stream with you. But again, Jess is a very, very special person to this cast. She's somebody who's been really, really supportive of me from the very beginning. And again, where you find out where certain people stand when the chips are down or something like that. She has always been, she's always been there to support me, and it's never ever lost. All right. I have no idea if you're allowed to do that. I'm probably not the one to ask about Twitch policy. Okay, so here's the setup for the industrial district. Tread lightly. The industrial district is the home of the Uzi Corporatisia. The Russians control most of the city's imports and exports from here, and a lot of military hardware in particular is in their hands. Like the name implies, the district's full of storage facilities, factories, and pollution. City leadership just tells folks to get lung og work done, but hopefully we won't be here long enough for it to be an issue. I've got... Not a problem at all, Jesse Quill. I kind of wanted to keep it a little shorter than I normally do because you have gone through a lot today. We won't be here long enough. Hopefully we won't be here long enough for it to be an issue. Hair cutting streams and things like that. I've got us a set of relay beacon spots and also an inside link to a steady info broker here. Let's do what we got to do and get out of the industrial before we get smog cough, okay? Knowledge is power. I'll look into Uzi Corp and see what we can find out about the Russians. What do we now know about the Russians? Uzi Corp's pretty straightforward. Go big or go home. They like their armor. They've even got some big mechs on patrol, so plasma guns might be the way to go. There's still a Dracogenics presence on the surface streets, but most facilities will have Uzi security. Be careful out there. So we've actually already got plasma loadouts. And I don't think I have a plasma sniper for my infiltrator. Yeah, we don't have that yet. Are we still researching? Yeah. Okay, we're good. Now the bank mission. Like about half of the industrial district, this place started out as a refinery. Unlike most of the joint, this one's full of money now. It's a converted bank. It'll be a pretty juicy target. So, what we need to do now... So this is our first obvious way in. But doesn't mean it's the best. This is, again, one of the things I really like about Satellite Rain is this process of discovering your best approach in. So what we're ultimately looking for is this area. So clearly, if we can walk through here and head in, we're in a good spot. So let's, again, this is kind of solving the puzzle backwards. The other thing, actually, what I should do is what my normal approach, which is to take a look for all the entry points. So this is the one we're at here. Looks like all of this is up against a wall. There might be something here, so I should kind of take a look in the north. Although if that opens up into a road, usually it'll be a little... covered. And then I think this is where all these walkways are. It's a little hard to get a read on where this is supposed to be. So I think what happens is like the catwalk goes across here and into like this, into these storage facilities. I'll take a look. It seems like a really easy way to get in, but I have a feeling that it's going to be trickier than I thought. So because this is the most direct way to the bank, and we'll do the backward solving approach. But we'll take a look. Okay, so seemingly there's no way onto this platform except through this security area. This is all pretty linear unless I'm missing some like vents somewhere. So we need to go through that door. Yeah, and I mean, if we do that, so we would have been on... Yeah, so I just need to get past the turret. I need to open this door. I need to get in through there, and then I'm in the bank. It's so easy, right? Yeah, that's the one problem with this approach. This is very clearly... If I were to do this, I would basically have to be finishing this mission, and then I would just go and I'd pick up the bank as a freebie. which is not necessarily a bad idea, but let's see if we can just hit the bank on its own. So I need to deal with a security camera, but we should be able to find where that goes. I mean, there's an obvious path around here. This almost seems like tutorial level sort of material. These are great. So that's a fantastic way that we just shut down all the cameras. Oh, actually, this is a cakewalk. But so is this. This is even easier. My God, what's wrong with these people? Okay, well, that's why the reverse approach sometimes isn't the best, because this back entrance is just so simple. Obviously, then there's the attendant, you know, going in the back way jokes. I get it. Ah, what I didn't account for was all the guards. Actually, the guards might be a deal breaker because this guy's kind of camping. All right, well, let's go the other route then. There might have been a way around. Like, I probably could have done like an assassination or something like that, but maybe we'll try back to the pacifist ways and before, unless we really get into trouble. I think one priority I should work on is trying to get a plasma sniper rifle, because they're absolutely right. Like, everything here has armor. So it's a pretty clear-cut case in terms of how we're gonna approach this. Okay, so this guy's gonna be a little bit of a problem. Oh, let's get ourselves a scientist while we're at it. Wait for this guy to look in a convenient direction, and then we'll actually let's do get these guys to hang out by the door. Well, she's in trouble. See how long this thing stays unlocked. Oh, nice and long. Okay. So unfortunately, that civilian walking into the area has triggered the guards in such a way that they're going to be hanging around for a bit. But basically, the plan is going to be, once I have somebody with their back turned, we're going to head along this route, and that's eventually going to get us to these generators that we can hardwire. So if I'm feeling, yeah, let's get bold. There we go. So again, there's a nice little way to get, actually I may be wrong on this, but if you hide behind a lot of these things, not only is it good practice, but I believe it winds up giving you a little bit of extra XP. Uh-oh. That's what I get for being a little... That's what I get for being a little careless. So we'll wait until he sort of calms down. I don't think he knows where we are. Yeah, he's just running away. So we'll all, again, just be in a good hiding spot here. And then I'll get my soldier to work on these. Again, this is not a piece of cake, actually, so I'll get these guys to run up along the edge. I gotta kind of trade where I'm hiding, because if people are coming down this way, they can look down and see my guys here. But if they're coming up this way, they look at this this fence. So right now everybody's ducking behind it. They'll be good. But if number 1 like stands up to go and disable one of these, he's in trouble. We might have to blow someone away. Nope. Back's turned to us, so we're good. This should hopefully disable the cameras. Oh, but he's doing a circle. He's not walking away. Alright, this is probably going to result in us getting caught. Oh, nope, but he's walking the wrong way. We'll see what happens with this guy, though. Problem with being in this position is there's no way for me to move because I get caught by them, but if he decides to turn around, then we get busted as well. So we'll see what happens. We should probably plan for them turning around as well. But hopefully we can be cheeky. Hey guys! This is how you really rob a bank, guys. Let's get a little bit more research done. Oh my god, the sun's coming up. I think I was going to do high impact rounds next. Like I said, I'm sure Uzi Corp won't mind spotting us a little cash. It's for a good cause after all. So in this case, because I brought everybody in, I got the 9,000 cash as well as 12,000 because of bringing my heavy in, and then my siphons are better as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take my hacker. We'll do our usual escape here, which is to just trigger my soldier, take advantage of his big shield. I have no idea what caused that explosion, but should probably just get the hell out of here. Hey, and we can get a money siphon too. So unfortunately, my soldier is pretty slow. It's not the end of the world because unless he winds up bringing enemies over, we'll just try hiding in the alleyway. It may be that this guard. Nope, we're good. So as soon as the soldier gets the heat off, we're good. And we'll take advantage of a little ATM hack over here while these guys have their backs turned. Alright, so everybody's in the clear. Pretty easy job. So I say that, I mean, obviously I wasn't able to get it done silently, but that's just me being dumb. So I'm going to get this ATM in the meantime, and we'll do City Surveillance Authority next. Oh, El Canoe's back! What a great guy. It's the second time. So guys, for those of you who are not familiar with him, El Canoe is an absolutely outstanding French streamer. He is the reason I actually own this game. I wanted to both improve my French by watching, I know everybody recommends like watching like television or something like that, but I like Twitch. And as it was, all of the Anglophone streamers were not good. They made this game seem a little bit boring. And even though my command of French leaves much to be desired, he really was able to communicate why this game is interesting and why it's really good. So if you are not a French speaker, I still recommend following that stream because he's a really great guy and you can learn a lot about showmanship from watching him. It's a beautiful community. I really have never seen anything like it on Twitch. He is a really outstanding guy. His mod Pumpaneko will often be in this channel, and again, an absolute delight to have in the channel. So not only is he a really great guy, but he has, you know, a wonderful community that's come up around him. It's easy to see why, right? You know, hopefully people's communities will reflect them a little bit. But the range of games that he plays is something else. They're all fun. He makes them all look fun. I think, like, again, if there were to be somebody that I think, you know, managers of influencers, like people like what Jesse Quill does, I think they should really be looking for people like Elkanu, because he has a gift at showing games, showing the potential for games. I think no developer would ever be able to see him stream and say that their game was shown in anything but the best light. And it's an amazing ability to have. So in addition to the fact that he's got a beautiful sense of comic timing, that he's a really, really friendly guy, he focuses on that very important thing about Twitch, which is it's about the games, and it's sharing them with people, and we get a chance to sort of see the great diversity in this entertainment medium. He's one of, you know, the gems that I found on Twitch, and I really hope some of you guys give the stream a chance. Again, even if you're not French speakers, I get a lot out of the cast just by watching it and enjoying. And, you know, if I do my best to take the French that I know, and then maybe I use a little Google Translate if there's like a term I'm not so familiar with. I've learned lots of profanity, which is great. But yeah, he's an absolutely outstanding guy. And I forgot to ask, now that we know the results from the Brexit vote. Oh, here we go. No, that's totally fine. I look forward to seeing you live. I wound up sleeping all day, so I wasn't able to join your cast, Elkanu. I will have to ask you later, now that we know the results of the Brexit, does this mean that France is now allowed to declare war on its ancient enemy, the British? But we can do that another time. Thank you so much. Again, your support means a whole lot. I obviously read your reply. That was very, very kind of you to say. But again, the real gift for me is every time I get a chance to see your stream. It's a real gem, and I really like what you do. I'm glad that you share it with us. So have a great day, and I'm looking forward to seeing your next cast. So again, I'm really taking advantage of this this hardwire ability. It's turned out to be a lot more useful than I originally thought. Still have to be careful about people like going through doors and things like that. I'm a little curious where this... So this exit just kind of comes up to the top there, so I'll use it if I have to escape. But what I think I'm going to do... I didn't really talk about my plan, but I'm going to kind of head down this way. And... Oh, I miscalculated. Okay, so I need to get here somehow. So I guess I can just kind of sneak around. I mean, I've already... Again, in this case, hacking wasn't necessarily the right way to go, just because it... Oh, I gotta run. Can't let these guys see me. Ah, I got caught. I got greedy there. Do we just blow them away again? Yeah, why not? Okay, let's hack the heavy. Alright, he's getting hit pretty hard. I think we're probably going to lose him, but let's do our best. So in this case, I'm just going to focus fire everyone down. And, alright, well that's not a surprise. Apparently our non-violent approach is pretty easy to abandon once once my idiocy regarding stealth comes along. At least we'll get some ammo. This also, one thing I'm learning about this playthrough, which is a little different from when I did it previously, was the benefit of having the appropriate weapon. So like in this case, because all of these are armor-based enemies, having a set of plasma... Oh, see, this is what I get for not planning ahead of time. I could have done this so much simpler if I just bothered to take a look. I could have entered in through this door. There's my beacon right here. There was actually a much simpler way to get inside this facility. That's a big blunder on my part, actually, because I could have got a lot more experience for doing that as well. Oh well. Yep, that did the trick. Our tech heads have just told me that you should find it much easier to designate drop targets now. Well, I still don't use that ability, so it's not so important, but... Oh, I was going to do the City Surveillance Authority. That was silly of me. The Eternals have set up their CSA, City Surveillance Authority, set up here for the district. The central database is where all the district cameras are routed for data to be processed. If we can get someone in there, it'll slow down the security recognition protocols and buy us some time for whatever mischief we get up to. So again, this is a beautiful one to get just because it really helps when you've got kind of like a security camera in an inconvenient place. You can usually run by them if you get this 50% extra time. So, I think I'm gonna have to visually look at this because I just keep seeing a bunch of walls. So there's our target. This looks like the front door, so I mean, presumably if I'm able to somehow solve the camera problem, this actually wouldn't be so hard. Although I don't think I have everybody to support going through those vents now that I think about it. So what's the long way? Assuming I don't want to go in through the front. Is there really only one entrance to this? There's usually more than one. That's a zip line down. That's not going to help me. Where does this door go? I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not able to access it, it looks like. But so it seems... The only thing I want to know is what that generator's powering. But it seems like there's really no options. The option seems to be I have to go in through the front and either I use the vents, which only part of my team can do, or I go around the edge, which is still a little tricky. I keep forgetting my rule of going behind cover to cover so I can keep my group stuck together. It's the one thing I'm not so happy about my builds with, is that because my infiltrator has so much speed, but because I have a so the great thing about giving the infiltrator a lot of speed is it really gives you the most out of that cloaking ability, because obviously it's time based, right? So the further you can move in the finite amount of time that you can interesting. So I could have just hardwired those. So this just seems to be for the door. That's an awfully big generator for just one thing. Anyways, it's a hell of a lot easier than doing it at the front, so I think we'll just wing it this time as well, because I mean, I already know I'm gonna wind up making a mistake somewhere. There's no lake information I can buy, right? Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, individually, it would actually be really... It'd actually be very good for me to... oh, these are shield guys, so these plasma rifles are actually not going to be as good. And they're camping the entrance, so... but it's just a matter of time. Or is it? Oh no, they're like totally shut out of that. Okay, well that's not useful to me at all. Oh, you know what I could do though? I use that to shut down the door and keep people from walking in. But that's not actually that good for me because then my guys can't come out. But yeah, so the big drawback with the setup that I've got right now is if I were to use one of my oh neat, okay. Well, this is gonna catch me for sure. I wonder if it'll do anything yet though. Nope, just ignored me. Am I actually gonna get away with this? Looks like I am. Oh. Okay, so we need to find a good spot to hide. Oh, we're so busted. Hello, Phantom Klepto. Oh wow, yeah, the plasma does nothing against shields. This is going to be a problem. So yeah, we're not at all equipped for this mission, so in this case we're just going to take advantage of the fact that we've got better shields and we're going to run through it. What I'm doing right now is I'm just spreading out all the damage on my team. We're sort of reuniting in the area, and then we're gonna just run straight out again. Fortunately, we can just get out through the front door because we've got the infiltration we need. Nice work. That'll throw a monkey wrench into the response times and help us out in the long run. So what we do here, the reason I felt okay doing that is we've got the lower vent, which means we can just hop in through here. Now again, the security crammer is possibly going to trigger on us. Ah, there was a lower vent. So where would have that taken us? Yeah, so if we had gone through here, we would have been okay. But oh, damn it, I wasn't paying attention. They'll nicely open the door for us, but it's probably just as well that we we're strong enough that it's basically just easy. It's just easier to walk through all of this and hide for a bit. Yeah, so super sloppy run, but in this case, we've got a bunch of shields, so we're kind of safe in this case. Now we just wait to see what bad guys are going to chase us to the beacon, if any. Number 2's obviously a wanted man. But, yeah, so we're 2 for 2 for screwing up missions. Alright, Dracogenics Guard Station, Uzi Corporatista. The corporate CIA and Dracogenics are like oil and water, they just don't mix. Draco Security trusts the Russians about as far as the Russians trust the Drakes. Security in this district is a shared effort, but everyone knows the teams are keeping an eye on each other just as much as they are on the citizenry. If we mess with this guard station, it'll slow down their comms network, but it also might get Dracogenics paranoid about further interference. Was it us or the Russians, you know? And they'll probably take longer to respond when it comes to mobilizing reinforcements. Local information broker is willing to sell us information about the gear that we'll find here. So reinforcements will be slowed, and looks like we get a plasma beam, which is probably a plasma sniper rifle. So that's actually going to fill out... it's going to fill out the like the anti... So the reason why I screwed up on the CSA is because those are Eternals, which means that they're going to be quite... protected against plasma weapons, whereas the Uzi and the Dracogenics forces use armor, and so in this case they're a little bit weaker to plasma. So I didn't really appreciate when I first started playing this game how much the choice of weapon really matters, but I've certainly come to appreciate it over time. Okay. It's kind of weird. The grid feels like it should be the second place that you go, and yet a lot of these earlier missions sort of feel almost tutorial level. Like, you know, you've got the security cameras, which are held, like, the terminal for it's held outside the building you need to break into. Let's see if I can hack this before they come to the door. Nice. So again, I've not set myself up for success by not really looking into what my other options are here. But in this case, we've got enemies that are all armor-based. Of course, we've got the one shield guy. Okay. So what I would do in this case is I would focus my sniper on the hammerhead. And the rest of the team would kind of take out his buddies with their armor or their skin protecting them. Okay, so we're good to run in now. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus... Ooh. I want to see where these guys wind up going before I commit anything. I'm just going to wind up sort of hiding behind these crates. So, actually what I could have done if I'd bothered to get the zip lines for everybody, I could have easily gotten into here. I think I would have come out this end. Saved me the trouble of all this sneaking around. We'll see what this patrol winds up doing. It looks like it's just kind of continuing on its merry way, so the door is actually really far away, so I'm going to get everybody to... I'm going to get everybody to kind of hide around the corner, so if the hacker gets caught, then he can sort of figure his own way out. It's actually two terminals I need. So this is a pretty good hiding spot. I think the patrol is going to turn around at this point. So I just need to hide here, wait for them to pass by, and then I should be able to get into the guard station. One important thing to keep in mind too is that there's a jammer here, so this whole idea of hacking guards as a way out completely lost. I also kind of want to be pretty prompt because these guys are gonna possibly see me over here, so. So we're definitely going to be able to get in and get our gear. I also want to take advantage of the data terminal because I'd rather not have to come back into this place. Looks like we'll be in good shape though. It's sort of, this seems a little more forgiving than all the other areas. Okay, impact rounds are done. So we're pretty much now at the, like, I just want to research this stuff so I can be done with it all phase. So, like, I'm not actually going to use, like, the ammo vest or the shields or anything like that. I think I can actually take advantage of the two. Yeah, so it's a small amount that we'll be using, but I think it's reasonable. Of course, my slowest member is going to go and read the terminal. Just make sure nobody can see us from the ledge. Cool. So just a heads up, guys, this isn't going to be too long of a cast. This is going to be a lot of, it's mostly just kind of clearing out a few missions. I wanted to get a little something done because I did sort of say I'd try and do like a flash cast in the evening, and then a bunch of stuff comes up as it always does. But I thought I want to try and at least get in the habit of casting every day, even if the definition of day is a little weird right now because of my 12-hour cast. But if I can build that habit now, I'm hoping that I'm able to sort of still fulfill like my school and my work obligations while putting on a show if I can. Okay, I'm not going to hang out here just because there's a possibility that the eye line goes through this grate and hits here. But this isn't too far away, and the eye line's right. So like this is shielded entirely from this area here. So unless they actually turn around the corner and look like this, there's no real reason they would be looking from this angle here. So one of the things that you can sort of do as far as patrols are concerned, as it turns out, we could have actually gone through the door, and I'm going to see if they maybe go through here. I don't see any reason why. Yeah, so they're just going to turn around. So there's no sense in trying to go through this door here. But basically the idea is you, most of the time they're just going to follow the set paths. So I don't have any reason to think that they'll go around like these areas. They are probably going to head along these ordinary roads though. So I don't know, like, there's certainly no like guide. I don't think there's any like developer diary that says that, but it just sort of seems to be the behavior that that they follow. Now, if they continue turning away like this, yeah, it looks like we're in good shape. So basically now it's just a matter of moving from cover to cover, making sure that they don't see me as I move in between. And we wait for the patrol to turn around again. And we get out with our hides. This is a little bold, so I think I'm just going to stick around here, see what they do. The brass ring would have been if I could run over to here, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong in this area. Like if they just turn around, chances are they're going to be able to see me. Whereas here, unless they specifically go into the storage area, I don't have a whole lot to fear. So again, this is the jammer units. Jammers are tuned to interfere with the neural implants of anyone not synced with its internal encrypted frequencies. This can cause a wide variety of undesirable side effects for trespassers, such as deteriorated coordination and reduced energy regeneration. Third-party modules that are dependent on high-precision calculations can also become unreliable, such as cloaking devices and neural hijacking. This is basically a way of saying that your abilities won't work so well inside here. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty, again, in my view, it's a pretty straightforward run. You just want to make sure that you don't, you don't get too reckless with the movements of the guards. Especially if you're packing plasma, as I decided to do because of most of the armor-based guards and the information that I paid for. Obviously, you want to have at least one thing to deal with those shields. I've definitely decided now that I will never go full plasma on a run just because of how hard it is to get through shields with plasma rifles. Yeah, so the patrols are all looking the wrong way. We don't... Oh! Looks like that thing caught us. So, would have been perfect if it wasn't for that, but... Fortunately, we've got shields, so it's not going to mean a whole lot. At this point, we just find a nice little place to hide. That's still going to be flying looking for us. but it won't necessarily know where to look. Oh, nope, spotted us just as we were moving along, so we'll just move a little bit deeper. This is still going to have to take a little bit of a route to try and find us, and the deeper we go, actually what we can do is we can head into this thing here. And it doesn't have any hope of finding us. Oh, but they will. What's up? Nice work, team. That comm relay's out. You just bought us more time. Sorry, guys. Just wanted to see the view. Alright. I think we got time for at least one more. Storage confound. Yeah, this is actually pretty small and pretty... Ah, there we go. So now we're on to the main stuff. We've got VIP storage facilities. Oh wait, no, we'll do the main mission for... Okay, so this is where the Uzi Corp chokes down on the imports, exports here in this... Oh yes, actually I remember this is pretty tough. Here on the city, they run these docks heart and soul and can move almost anything in and out of here. The Russians have had some ups and downs in recent years, their own power struggles going on, but the rule is simple: whoever runs the docks runs Uzi. We're here to show them that they're not untouchable. Our intelligence operatives will be able to get us some info for a little bit of cash. Trick's going to be using their crates against them. They've got so much material moving all the time that the cameras and guards don't really account for it. Think about it. Sure, there's tons of patrols, but there's tons, literally, of stuff to hide behind too once you're inside. You've got two options for infiltration: main entrance on the north side or the side gate on the east. The guards should be pretty bribable, and if our hacker is up for it, we should be able to get in no problem. So we've got VIP storage facilities. This is their special branch storage facility. They're high-tech stuff. Higher price, higher security, higher risk for us. The VIP clients can afford to get into this into their share of shady deals. It's not nearly as obvious as downstream, but it's not nearly as obvious as downstream in the self-storage joints. These will be major covert actions pulled by professionals. Gear here comes and goes quickly, and tech moves around as often as it moves in and out. If we're fast and lucky, though, we should be able to find something good. If you can reach those data terminals to get into their system, we'll know where they keep all the best stuff and how to get it. Okay, and you can get nanofiber muscles, grenades, and water coolant. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is get some security codes. Oh, and there's an ATM to hack. Again, I'm never going to turn down more money. Security camera is not quite enough to see me down here, so this should be a pretty straightforward hack. And I don't know what that yellow thing is. I thought it was a scientist originally, but the last time I did that, it turned out to be like an information broker. Target found. Oh, well, we got a scientist anyway. Okay, so now I gotta know what mission this guy's for. Okay, well, it's not a current mission I'm working on, so what I'm going to do with this guy, he can jolly well wait. Let's find a semi-secure place to put him. I don't see really any problem, but just toss him off there. Problem is gonna be when I do like a select all. It's gonna cause me some grief, but I'll worry about it when it comes down to it. So, I mean, these side missions are entirely optional here. I mean, even though the last couple of rounds I've kind of been a little bit more I've been a little bit more aggressive in my approach. Like I've been shooting guys down. It's usually just been because I've sort of failed in a stealth element. My preferred approach is stealth, just because I think it's more fun, and then two, it's a little bit like I think it's the faster way to wind up getting experience personally. But where I was originally doing a kind of a pacifist run, it was very clear that I couldn't sustain it for the entire game. So one of the things I'm also, again, just from the previous time that I was doing this, because I've sort of specialized my team quite heavily now, my infiltrator runs faster than literally everyone. You know, I think it's a good investment to actually disable the security camera, just because I've really let myself be careless with how I do missions. So I only need one person inside there, so let's just do it properly and shut down the security. But one of the ways that I've gotten past the specialization with my infiltrator being too fast is I just hide behind a lot of cover. It's a nice little way of kind of getting people to sort of move a little more uniformly, and that way, you know, again, if I want to move my character quickly, so if I want to like stealth them and just, you know, run them into a particularly appealing area, I can do that. You know, they work great as a single operative, but for these cases where I'm kind of like moving everybody as a unit, in this case you sort of want to click on a lot of cover. One, because it's a good practice anyway, but number two, it'll stop number 4 from like running too far ahead. Unfortunately, number 1's always going to be slow, so and he's the big tank, so I guess it's a she? I think it's a she now. Alright, okay, with these codes we know exactly what to look for and how to get it. Let's get into that facility. Beautiful. So, the way that it works is you've got your overall project, industrial district. We're working on the storage compound, which has multiple sections. We were on storage facilities, so we bought the information, and there's actually the submission here, so we've got everything we need for that part of the mission. Now we activate the ping, and we're gonna head to these storage facilities here. So I think actually this is our best bet. So again, I am going to properly plan this one, because this is going to be one of the more difficult missions that I wind up going on. At least that's sort of the implication, given the fact that it's not like a usual sort of reconnaissance or you know, like a bank robbery or something like that. Usually. Oh yes. So maybe one of the ways we could approach this, maybe I was thinking about it the wrong way. Maybe what I want to do is break into the bank, and I can get into here. But then I don't really need to engage with that turret at all. As long as I can get around this edge, I can completely avoid the turret that way. So I guess the question is, how do I... Oh yeah, this actually looks pretty tempting. Okay, let's give this a shot. Again, that's not a thorough investigation, but I'm actually feeling intrigued by this. Okay, so these I'm just by default going to shut down. Maybe not the one... I'm not going to shut down this second one. Yeah, that took out the cameras. This one will take out the door. I don't need to take out the door, I just need to hack it, so I'm going to do that. Being able to disable the security cameras like that's probably the largest single boon I have. Right, so again, I want to be careful about this. I can't afford to be spotted by that turret. So what I want to do is head around the edges. I believe I'm going to need to hack these anyway, so just wait for these guys to do their usual patrol. We'll, again, just completely avoid the turret as much as we can and disable these, walk through, and we should be able to get our stuff. So again, wait for its pass to go by, and we'll leg it just to be sure. Okay, good. I think for good measure, I'm just going to disable those cameras in case the hardwire stops again. Again, not happy with the fact that I've got an energy shielded guy, but it shouldn't be a problem. Looks like if I actually, it looks like if I hardware disable that, I'm in good. That's firing on their own guys. Oh, because I hacked it. Sweet. This mission suddenly seems a lot easier. Whoa! Okay, so those are suicide drones. Not quite what I was looking for. Okay, so we gotta maybe speed this up a little bit. Fortunately, this is worried about the turret, so we'll be good there. Can take this guy out. I'll actually get my support on healing duties just so we can be a little more secure. No point in getting our hands dirty. We'll just hack this other minigun guy and we'll be able to take out. This guy's particularly suited towards this because he's got a minigun which isn't plasma. So you can see that shield just gets totally nailed because it's ballistic rather than the plasma. I'm not going to cry that this turret goes away. At this point now we just kind of blow everything away. I suppose at this point I'll just see if there's anything else I can do while I'm in here, because it's already a little bit of a... Oh, hang on. Looks like there's more stuff to do, so... I think we'll maybe... We'll just gracefully run like hell. So again, like, all of these have been pretty inelegant. I sort of knew that because it's like a super late night stream where I'm only kind of going to play about an hour of the game and then finish out. But at least we got a little bit of the industrial district cleared out. So like when we play this game for more extended time, we're going to be focusing on all the fun missions rather than have, you know, like the better part of the stream spent like doing all the setup. And then like we find one hard mission and like we just call it a night. So and with those codes we're in, let's pop. Oh, we've already done those. So we've got nanofiber muscle, grenade EMP, wet warp coolant system. Okay, so everything's good. Let's see. So for once, I think the front door is the way to go. If we take out the power generator over in the alley in the east, it'll kill the cameras on the main entrance. So yeah, getting the hardwire ability for the soldiers ridiculously good, especially by the industrial district, which may be the third one that you go into. After that, you've just got to work through the compound to get to the facility proper. And for that, we get laser targeting and a medipack. And where is it? I think I might just do planning rather than actually follow through with the whole thing. Okay, so we gotta get in here. The turret's gonna be a problem. Don't have anything to reach to it, so there's probably gonna be like a power generator. Well, I mean, it said there's a power generator, so where is it? Over in the alley to the east. It'll kill the cameras on the main end. Okay, well, we already did that. So I guess what it's trying to say is we should go up and through the... I don't know, this seems like a lot shorter route the way I want to go. And we still need to come up with an answer for what to do with this turret. I think the answer is be very sneaky and like move up to here. I think that will probably give us the turret. Okay, so I head through this door, probably out and around, so I can go down through this door and we find some way of dealing with the turret. Okay, because it's fairly simple, I'll yeah, I think we hit the generator. I'll save first just because I have a feeling I'm gonna go dumb. But this will be the last mission for the night because I'm actually already at the 1 hour mark. But we'll see how quickly we can do this. I don't think it should be too hard. And I don't think we actually disabled any cameras. Now this is a little unfortunate. We've got a fairly heavy guy coming in. Oh, but nothing we can't handle, so we'll still keep sneaking. Definitely going to take advantage of the ATM. So I need to get upstairs. Ah, no, this is going to be tough. He's definitely going to spot us. Oh, nope, he's going the wrong way. So what I might do, we might get an assassination out of the way on this one. Actually, no, we're not, because of the night. It's 8 a.m. here. Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it's like 5 o'clock. So I'm using night decidedly loosely. I really got to see where this guy's going, as long as he doesn't turn around in any awkward positions. I think we can, yeah, so if we run and head over behind these crates, we'll be in good shape. I'm kind of interested in seeing what this disables. That looks like it might actually disable the turret, so it's worth taking a side trip for. It does. Okay, great. So we don't even need to worry about this. Oops, this might be bad. But they're fast, so that's good. So we'll see where he winds up going. Number 2 stuck. So basically what I should be doing here is just moving completely behind. Western Canadian time, absolutely. Yeah, I'm surprised. I feel like the grids missions were a bit more difficult. The big question here, I don't have an obvious answer for these cameras. It looks like my opportunity to take those out were elsewhere, so I think at this point probably just a flat out burn to the front is the way to handle this one. Or we can just shoot them. You know, there's nobody around. So there are going to be some teams coming to check on the cameras, so we definitely need to get a move on. But we'll be okay for a bit. May as well just move across the country. EST just isn't for you. Not all your entertaining streamers are at a reasonable time of night. I mean, Phantom Klepto, I've been just completely... Oh, looks like we got a new guy. That's going to be inconvenient. Let's just cram up against the side here. So these are this is basically the consequence of shooting out those cameras. We should be able to get through it. Like, as long as this guy walks away, we'll have a fairly easy path back out. And again, if nothing else, we just shoot our way through, but we've done okay so far. But yeah, Phantom Klepto, I know I've not been very good at keeping a fairly like regular and decent schedule. Like, I personally would rather not start streaming at 4 in the morning and like go for an hour or something like that. I think that's not good for my sleeping habits, and it's not really good for my audience, who tends not to really watch at those times. But I did at least want to have, like, there's something, as a streamer, I think it's important to say, like, there is something about, you know, saying, you know, I've cast every day for the past X days. It is alarmingly easy to get very complacent about missing casts. And it's something I've always wanted to avoid where I can. Now, the fact of the matter is like, you know, my studies and my... All right, this is going to be tricky. I think we're just going to go... Oh, he's going to catch us. Maybe not. We'll see what direction he goes. If he goes left or right, we'll head the opposite. But yeah, there's, you know... School is always going to be first, right? Like, there's no way I can really justify, you know, oh yeah, sure, I can study momentum effects in presidential primaries, but oh god, I thought he was going to turn right. But, you know, my public needs me. Like, that's I'm not quite that deluded in my value as a caster. Ooh, okay, screw you. Like, yeah, you better not look at us, friends. You saw what happened to your buddy. Yeah, I don't know. I just think I think it would be better if I could do regular things. But again, like, you know, even keeping aside like the fact that I have school obligations and things like that, it's definitely very easy to say, it's like, oh, I didn't cast yesterday, so, you know, maybe I won't quite put the... Maybe maybe I can give myself another break today, and all of a sudden you wake up and like you haven't casted for a couple of weeks, and the inertia that happens in a situation like that it's pretty alarming. It's actually it's surprising how easy it is to fall out of the habit of casting. So with that in mind, I have, you know, where I can take the opportunity. So I was already going to be up really late no matter what. So that what's adding another hour to the bedtime? Well, you know, the difference between 4 and 5 actually feels like a whole lot, but I thought I'll at least do that. And, you know, we can say we got a little bit of a cast in, and then next, you know, next time I'll try, like, either this evening or tomorrow evening, like, to do a full, proper, like, good cast. But the nice thing about this one is that it's so many bite-sized little missions. Like, so this one is, again, nice, fairly simple. I mean, obviously I kind of screwed up at the end there, but it was, again, because we've equipped ourselves well, if you get caught by one guy, it's actually relatively simple, especially if you're in a big open area where other people can't hear. You can take them out before they alert the guards, and then, you know, you just move on your way. So nice job. He's in one piece, and he is on his own from here. We've got the hardware and the blueprints. Now get out before more Uzi show up. We've got laser targeting and medipack. So the last thing would be the main storage facility. This place is huge, and without a cargo drone, we'd never steal everything. The trick is going to be getting the diamonds while we ignore the coal. Luckily, they've got a primary inventory that we can scan, and then just get agents in, take the packages we want, and get out. So it looks like if we go to the east, we can zip line, but we've already taken out the sentry gun, so that's not going to be a problem. Oh, hang on, this is the main, isn't it? You can sneak past the other 2 sentry turrets, but hacking them is also an option. It means turning guns on security goons, but then that also means more noise, right? And then sound dampening grenades, Pablo laser beam, and Woodcorp app. You know, I think this one's actually going to be a little... I don't think I'm going to be able to get this one done in a couple minutes, so... just take a look at my research program. Oh, we were finished our research program. Okay. So laser targeting is actually kind of tempting because this is one that will improve my weapon accuracy. Really important thing to remember about this. So the extra range is kind of nice on my weapons. This is huge because adding the 6%, the way that I calculate damage when I'm doing this game. So, you know, I take a look at a 55% accuracy, 2.75. So what I do is I'll take that and I'll discount that. So the expected value of a given hit is not 2.75 unless the accuracy is 100%. And then, of course, you take your rate of fire, 9.1 a second. That's a way that you can calculate your damage DPS. Or specifically what that would be EDPS, expected damage per second. So if you think about it that way, adding another 6% is actually adding 6% damage that your potential was. So if it's 2.75, I mean, again, these are all relatively small numbers, but let's take a look and compare the different things. We've got 2.75, we've got 2.33, so this technically does less damage, but it's more appealing, and it's also slower, but it has a higher accuracy. So in this case, it's actually very tempting to want to use. Right now we're using this plasma rifle, which gives us a 2.88. It's a 6.3 rate of fire, but again, a higher accuracy. The challenge here, of course, is that the damage versus shield is really, really poor, even compared to the Uzi. So it's a matter of kind of finding the right composition of all the different weapons that I'm using. So in any case, the laser sight, so, you know, extra range, I'm not going to like be over the moon over that. But being able to get some extra, some extra damage in the form of higher accuracy, that's actually a pretty good win. But what I'm going to do above all is actually the shielding R65, because that's something that will directly improve all of my agents. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take advantage of the black market, so I can... There's a very specific piece of gear that I want, Zip Claw. This high tensile clamp and pulley system allows an equipped agent to attach any cable, converting it to a zip wire capable of extreme loads, perfect for those who require a covert entrance. Warning, this device is not electrically insulated and should be used under adult supervision. So it's expensive. It's $14,350 because that's a prototype. But the plan on that one is, as I research it, where is it? I think that's going to cost me too much. Yeah, it's 14. I actually think that's a little more important than the shielding. I can add laser targeting to that, and we'll still get a fairly healthy profit unless I can find another cheap one to do. I think the EMP is pushing me over the edge. Yeah, that takes me to 14. Let's try and speed that up a little bit. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. So basically the idea here is I'm taking advantage of I'm sort of taking advantage of the technology so that I can sort of kit out my my team with something that'll allow a little more stealth. Now, as far as the rest of my stuff, let's just take a quick look. Actually, I should be looking at skills because we've definitely been earning some experience points. So maybe a point in pack mule for everyone so I can have a zip claw is a good idea. Let's I actually think I should probably put 2 for my... Oh, I can't, so... I don't need to do this for my infiltrator because they can already use zip lines. So the next thing I was doing was weapon specialist for my soldier. I was also doing weapon specialist for my support, so I'll start with that. We can max out master technician for the hacker. And my infiltrator is just drowning in experience. Yeah, so I got the top level of master assassin. In this case, it's... Oh! This is why they're so fast. They've also got an increased speed in addition to their already very high speed. So actually, let's just take a look. I'm going to take my soldier, which I believe has either a 0% or 7% speed modifier. And I'm going to take my infiltrator. We're going to race them. This will be how we end the cast, guys. Let's just take a look at their stats. So the infiltrator is 21 speed. I wonder if that's after... yeah, so he is base... Or she's base speed. Okay, so it says 9% here, and if I were to use the soldier... Okay, so I don't believe it's counting the 21% bonus. So it seems like we've got 21% versus base speed. And now that we've got max level master assassin, we're not even gonna do run. We're just gonna get them to run to the end of the street. This is why I have a little difficulty with crowd control now. But the really good news about it is where you can see the advantage to this is let's just turn on cloaking. This is basically kind of wanted to move them in a straight line, but we'll just go around the street. And we'll sort of see how far they can go. Well, you know, this isn't so bad actually, because I think you know, you don't always run in straight lines in complexes or something like that. All right. So like basically we were able to go from here to here, which again is not a straight line, but you can sort of see all of that distance that we traveled on our existing energy. So the challenge is, so what it is like my strategy is not particularly good for this specialization that I've done. I tend to move the group as a whole and don't take advantage of the specializations. Like basically what'll usually happen, there'll be like 3 goons hanging around the corner while like the hacker does something or the support does something. But the real advantage here is the staircase is unsupported. This thing? Or this thing? Yeah, it does look a little weird. I think the idea is that this is the docks. So I think this is supposed to be water down here. Yeah, so the only challenge is that with because I wasn't really focusing on it that much. I think probably what happens depending on the angle. Oh wow, they really don't have a lot of. They really didn't add in a lot of support. Well, it's the future, guys. Yeah, the really big thing about this one is that the main advantage to giving the infiltrator the highest speed is, I mean, first of all, like, I've already set them up for things like being my chief assassin or something like that, and if you want, you can give them a lot of things like their their melee attacks or things like that. So all of those sort of lend themselves towards speed. But in my opinion, the thing that really benefits a high-speed infiltrator is just the fact that it's the implicit way that you can get the most out of your cloaking. The direct, like the brute force way that most people will think about is increasing energy, which I've sort of indirectly done through my support through leadership. But it seems to me that the best way is maybe don't try to brute force it, because in the end it's still like it's 7 per second, right? So like if you want another, if you want another second of that, your I think maybe a best example would be to show you what you're putting in terms of skills. So you get that by another point in leadership. So the maximum that you get would be max energy by 80. And that involves 4 out of 4. So the amount of experience that you're using to achieve that is quite high. Now, again, that's about 10 seconds extra of invisibility. That's nothing. But of course, if you're traveling so much further over that second, you don't maybe need to worry about spending so much on increasing energy. Because then you ask yourself the questions like, well, how much do I really need to be on... how much do I really need to be in that state? So the other thing is you tend not to want to run everywhere. But anyways, a lot of this dialogue was just so I can get the most out of my research time. Let's just see how we're doing. Yeah, this is still going to take a while. So I think I am going to call it for tonight. I know a few people kind of stopped in. Some people just recently came in. It was a shorter cast. I mean, we've only been up for about an hour or so. But I did start casting at 4 in the morning. It's now about 5:30, and I already had kind of like a day that I all slept through. So I'd like to take a minute and shout out some wonderful... Oh yeah, Kitless, I'm really sorry, but I started extremely late, and I really need to get some sleep. I was going to say, oh, cool, somebody's playing Satellite Rain. They've only got 4 viewers. Let's go host them. And then I clicked on it, and it was me. I'm an idiot. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just going to call it, guys. I'm sorry to do this to you. I know I said, like, in Twitter it was going to be a flashcast anyway. But I do need to get a little bit better at my sleeping patterns. I will try to be back tonight for a proper stream. What we'll probably wind up doing if I do a full stream is Valhalla rather than Satellite Rain. But we'll kind of see where everything gets taken. And more importantly, too, I was just going to say, to give you a bit of an idea of what my obligations for the next few days are. I do want to get a little bit of game dev stuff done. Yeah, exactly, Phantom Klepto. I definitely appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll try not to do too many of these like flash casts, although again I think it's better if I can stay into the habit of like streaming regularly, even if it's for a short period of time versus like these extended like 4 or 5 hour things. Because like if I always dedicate myself to doing like a 4-hour cast, and like let's say I start at 8 o'clock, like I'm immediately saying that I'm not going to go to bed until at a minimum of midnight, but usually what happens, I need about like 2 hours to get myself sorted out. So it's not always conducive to like a proper sleeping pattern, and in the end that kind of comes back and I get hit hard by it, and usually what happens is I just stop casting for a while I recharge. But to let you know, I do want to put a little more time into the game dev stuff, because I'm no longer doing this modding or this this Team Panda stuff. I'm I'm free, and I want to make sure that all of that time is being spent on like productive things that I want to do. So my econometrics, game dev, if I can come up with a new show or something like that, I want to do that. Still thinking about things I'm going to do for the 1K celebration. I haven't forgotten that. I do want to make it special for you guys though. And Jess did something very nice for me not too long ago. So I want to make sure that I can give her a little bit of a thank you and kind of, pay her back. So with that in mind, I can't make any promises about tomorrow night, but I'll do my best. Or sorry, tonight. And then tomorrow night I should be in for sure. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you next time.